tikuski lihankadiski. Lijopokoski vrangis hakum freti beti farokutusiki. Thank you, precious Father. Thank you, precious Father. Father, we thank you in the name of the Lord Jesus Christ. We thank you for this occasion. We thank you for this meeting. This has been by your Spirit, and you have orchestrated that we be here. For our steps have been guided by you. This event has been put together by your Spirit. And Lord, for maximum impact in each and every one of us, we give you praise. Thank you for the wisdom of God that is at work in this place, the wisdom of God that is released in this meeting. Thank you for the doors that are open to every participant here, both investors and those who are looking for investors. We give you praise. And our hearts and our minds are open for the wisdom that you give to us. Thank you, Father. And we thank you for those who are yet on their way, that they will meet us in good time, in the name of the Lord Jesus Christ. And everybody said, amen. God bless you. Thank you.
Good morning, distinguished leaders, policymakers, entrepreneurs, CEOs, and investors, ladies and gentlemen, kingdom builders. The name is Stephanie Nicholas, better known as Voice of Steph, and I am super duper thrilled to stand here before you as your official co-host for this very auspicious event.
Absolutely. I am entirely excited as well. Thank you very much for spending your morning with us and the entirety of today with us. My name is Osaogi Ogbawa, and I'm also going to be your host for LTIF 2025. I need everyone to understand what is happening today, all right? It's the maiden edition, and we should truly, truly be excited because we are part of history. In the future, when anyone's referring to LTIF, I would like you to be proud that you were part of the very first day that LTIF 2025 was launched. And so please, let's put our hands together for ourselves, ladies and gentlemen. That is the spirit that I want us to move on with today. Excitement that you have been a part of history. Once again, I'm excited to be here, and we hope that we have an entirely thrilling experience.
Now, on that note, ladies and gentlemen, would like to officially welcome you to the Loveworld Trade and Investment Forum 2025. Please put your hands together. Okay, so this year's theme, trust, trade, and transformation. In a world where economies are shaking and systems are shifting, trust has become a currency for advancement, and trade has become a driving force for collaboration, and transformation has become the mandate for every kingdom-minded leader.
Absolutely. But let us reflect a little bit more on the theme, all right? So what we're going to do, trust, trade, transformation. We did a little practice of this yesterday. So let's try that, okay? So on the extreme, on this side of the hall, when I say LTIF, I would like you to say trust. In the middle of the hall, we would like you to say trade. And then on this extreme side, let's hear you say transformation. Are we ready? LTIF 2025.
Trust, trade. I think I need more energy. Energy. Can we do that again?
LTIF 2025.
That's more like it.
Yes.
I love it.
Obviously, the trade segment, they have more people, so they were a lot louder. But thank you very much. We honestly want those words to sink in. They are important that everyone understands what the theme is. And LTIF is not just another global forum. It is a platform of economic alignment. It is a platform where spiritual intelligence meets market strategy. If you can just take that again. A platform where spiritual intelligence meets market strategy. And so you understand what the significance of that truly is. So welcome once again, and we hope that you have an entirely thrilling experience. But let's share with you what exactly LTIF really means.
So now I'm very sure at some point of this event, or probably at any point, you might have asked yourself, why on earth does LTIF 2025 even matter? Well, ladies and gentlemen, this year, LTIF boldly steps into new territory with more depth, more strategy, and more collaboration across sectors. Now, you know, Osarage, when we're talking about nation building, changing a nation, we need to have intentional conversations. And that's exactly what we're doing here today. We're all converged under the same roof to have intentional conversations to help foster trade both locally and internationally, the kingdom way. That is the key point there.
That is it. And nobody is going to leave here the same. That is one promise that we have. You will not live here the same way that you came in here. And so prepare yourself for a very, very exciting experience. Now, some of the things to look forward to at this year's LTIF 2025, purpose-driven campaign dialogues where finance meets kingdom vision, policy and governance roundtables, shaping regulations that enable business expansion, women of influence sessions, celebrating female pioneers, transforming trade. Please, can the women put their hands together for themselves?
Where are my women?
Women.
Okay, that's better.
Yes, and also cross-border trade workshops, equipping entrepreneurs to scale globally. And finally, innovation showcases, spotlighting solutions, redefining enterprise across Africa.
That's a lot. That's a lot we have.
Absolutely is. But before we start, just a few housekeeping rules to ensure that we are all on the same page and everyone feels very, very comfortable. So please ensure that your mobile devices are put on silent so we don't distract ourselves from every other thing that is happening here today. The restrooms are conveniently located behind the hall, right under the gallery there. If you look behind, you can see where the restrooms are. If you need any assistance, look around you. You would see some of the ushers. You can please nudge them. They can assist you with almost anything that you might need. And also, all the panel sessions, there's going to be live questions. So you would get a chance to ask questions yourself. The mic will be given to you. You can make your contributions and you can ask any question. And also, please remain seated during key addresses so we don't, distract those who are on stage, who are making presentations. The exit doors are right here and at the extreme left as well. Those are some of the housekeeping rules that we're going to be working with to ensure that you have a very, very interesting experience.
Okay, so now, in as much as I want us to pay attention because we have qualified people, personalities who are going to be sharing a wealth of information with us here today. But I'd like us to do something, just a little something. Okay, we need to let people know, like Osarige rightly said, we are making history and we all are part of history today. So let's make a little noise, okay? So I want us to do something. Osarige, I'm going to come close to you, okay? So We want to make some buzz on social media. My content creators, I'm very sure we've got content creators in the house. Let's make some buzz on social media so people know exactly what's happening. So right now, please pull out your phones, your devices. Let's go, let's go. Please bring out your phones. Okay, I need everyone to bring out your phone. Just turn on your camera. And look at the person sitting next to you, a beautiful lady, a handsome gentleman. So you're going to turn on your camera. And we're going to take a picture together, okay? And you're going to use the hashtag LTIF 2025. I'll take that again. LTIF 2025 and Loveworld Trade Forum. So just a couple of seconds so we can get our selfies, okay? I'm looking forward to seeing your selfies on social media.
Yes, we're going to be monitoring that hashtag, LTIF 2025. Take a selfie, make a short video, boomerang, take a picture of myself and Stephanie if you want.
I think we should take our selfies as well.
Oh, yes, we should, absolutely. Remember, LTIF 2025 or Loveworld Trade Forum. Those are the hashtags that we're using. Tell the world what is happening here today. We need to take our own picture.
We need to take our selfie. Okay, as we're taking ours, I want to see everyone taking selfies. I think that's my favorite people right there. They're already taking selfies. The lady on white. Yeah, let's take.
All right, ladies and gentlemen, with the hashtag LTIF 2025
and Loveworld Trade Forum.
Absolutely. Once again, LTIF 2025. Let's have you all say it. LTIF 2025.
Thank you so much. So right now we're going to go straight into our national anthem. May I please request that we all rise to our feet as we take the Nigerian national anthem.
Can we all please be standing?
Nigeria, we hail thee, our own dear native land. Though tribe and tongue may differ, in brotherhood we stand. Nigerians old and proud to serve our sovereign motherland. Our flag shall be a symbol that truth and justice reign. In peace all battle honored, and this we count as gain. To hand unto our children a banner without stain. O God of all creation, grant this our one request. Help us to build a nation where no man is oppressed, and so with peace and plenty Nigeria may be blessed.
Thank you, ladies and gentlemen. Please remain standing as we take the Loveworld anthem. Thank you.
Lift our hands in prayer.
so much, ladies and gentlemen. Please, you may have your seat. So coming up now, we're going to have a video play out. Please keep your eyes on the screen, and we'll be right back. Thank you so much.
You are about to watch the keynote video for the Loveworld Trade and Investment Forum, an insightful and strategic message that sets the direction for our economic advancement and global business impact. Across our world today, economies are failing, and many remain trapped. Trapped in systems they did not create. Systems designed to enrich a few while impoverishing many.
They make sure that your country, your currency goes down. Then they buy up all those things you worked for in the last few years while you're coming up. All the infrastructure is coming up. All your banks are coming up. All your factories are coming up. And your manufacturing beautiful things are coming up in your country. Then they hit your currency. When they hit your currency, then the value goes down. And then they come from outside and buy up your banks and buy up your manufacturing factories and buy up all the infrastructure, buy up your airports and buy up your bridges.
Yes, sir. Yes, sir.
They call it investments.
Yes.
And those that are ignorant are asking for international investors. Why? You don't know they hit your currency.
For decades, Africa and Asia have been positioned as consumers, not creators, borrowers, not builders. But there is another truth, one the world refuses to tell.
Africans and Asians are very hardworking. Very hardworking. They are not poor by any means. No, to be poor, you have to be poor inside. These are not poor inside. And that's why those who hate them so try to impoverish them.
These economic structures were never designed to make you wealthy. They were designed to keep nations dependent, to keep them small.
Every time a nation calls for foreign investment, what happens is this. The game players say, we can't do it except you devalue your currency. What's the reason for devaluing the currency? I'll tell you. To make sure that the citizens are unable to hold the assets.
From unfair trade agreements to manipulated global markets, from debt cycles that cripple national growth to the narratives that keep entire nations undervalued, the world's economic stage is not equal.
It is in the conditionality policy to adjust your currency to favor external investors, which means you must make their currency stronger than yours all the time to so-called encourage them.
These are not merely economic issues. They are evil strategies that affect many lives.
How many people can you tell this and they will believe you? That the earth is full of the goodness of God. But this is the truth. But they don't see it. A lot of people are suffering there. They have a hard life, harshness of the environment. Many are broke, many are hungry, some are dying, many are sick. All they have experienced in their life is a world of bitterness and pain. And yet, the Bible tells us the truth, that this earth is full of the goodness of God. Why are the people not seeing it? I'll tell you. Because of the works of wicked and evil men. That's why. They manipulate your country currency. They manipulate it. So they destroy the value of your currency. That's why you can't see it. Real value in your work. The more you work and achieve, the more they oppress your governments to take down the value of your currency. So you are never able to have enough money, the financial power to acquire what you wish to have. So only them with the power of the currency would purchase what you could have had.
But God never leaves his people without direction. Through the voice of our dear man of God, Pastor Chris, a new economic vision has been declared. A new consciousness is rising among God's people, a calling to build, to lead, to dominate industries. The Loveworld Trade and Investment Forum was birthed as a prophetic response, amplifying our economic vision, while aligning the Loveworld business ecosystem with global opportunities.
And I'm speaking to individuals as well as to nations. The time has come.
Please, can we please put our hands together for that? Remember I said before that nobody is going to leave here the same way they came. Every single person who walked into this room today would leave here at the end of events tomorrow a totally different person, inspired, more energetic, more a lot more wiser for the plans for the future. And you know, the general idea is because the future, some of the people in this room are some of those who would shape the economy of the future. Can we say an amen to that? Okay. Some of the Elon Musk of the future are going to be here as well. Some of them who would shape what the continent would look like. But I would like to ask generally, all right, before we have our opening speech, what are your expectations? All right, I know that I have said that people will go home different, but what are your expectations? So we're going to walk around, speak with you one-on-one. I would like to know what you think, what your expectations are between now and tomorrow. What do you hope that you can get? Stephanie?
Okay, I think I'm going to go to that side.
Yes. All right, so I just simply want to know what you expect to get. I'm going to move the mic to anybody, so please indulge us, all right? The mic might come to you. I simply want to know what your expectations are from LTIF 2025. Looking the other way is not going to save you. Look at me here. All right, so let's start with you, sir.
Good morning. Can I sit or stand? Okay. Today I expect to learn, to grow. As an entrepreneur, I expect to scale my business from what I will learn here today. Thank you so much.
Thank you very much. Please, a round of applause for him.
Okay,
Stephanie?
so these two ladies caught my attention while I was on the stage, so I would like to have a conversation with them. Hello, good morning. Okay, you smile.
Good morning.
So what's your expectation after today's event?
Okay, thank you so much. So I plan to come here and learn as much as possible and also unlearn some things that I've learned that have made me not make progress or move forward, and then relearn the better things. Thanks.
So technically you came to unlearn, learn, and relearn. Thank you so much. That was so beautiful.
I like that. How many of us here are entrepreneurs? Okay, so we have a full house. I like that. Let's speak with our friend here as well.
Thank you for the opportunity. I came here. My name is Dr. Chris Ademola. Okay, I came for increased capacity to increase my capacity to trade, to scale up my transactions, and meet other entrepreneurs and get connected to new opportunities, new trade, new investment opportunities. Thank you very much.
All right, thank you very much. I think I like that one as well. Stephanie, who do we have on your end?
Okay, so, I think this is my favorite section of today's audience. You have to go to people, but he literally raised his hand and said, I want to speak. That's bold and audacious right here. What's your name and what's your expectation?
Thank you very much. My name is Jude, and my expectations are quite a lot. But to give context to this, I literally stopped going to church for the past 5 years because of what Pastor Chris just said and revealed. A lot of what is going on out there is that the Christian community are not seeing the economic contributions that they can put in a nation, right? And I have been worried. So when I saw LTIF, I'm like, okay, this is more like it. This is what I've always wanted. So my expectation is that it's going to go beyond the conference so that we can have a trade-up, see a trade-up like Computer Village, but for manufacturing, wherein people, any entrepreneur do not need access to financing, but just have an idea, go into the trade-up, and be able to use resources available there to produce, manufacture, and engage the global market. So basically, that's what I'm looking forward to. Thank you.
Wow, Wow.
All right.
Please put your hands together for him. Thank you so much.
Yeah.
And I'm glad and I'm very, very, very certain your expectations are going to be met. Thank you so much for being here.
I was thinking it was one of the speakers. He was almost getting into a full lecture session for us. Well, thank you very much. I enjoyed that, and it's quite inspiring. Pressing your phone wouldn't make me skip you. So, Auntie in pink, I'm coming to you. Hello. Good morning. So let's hear your name and what you expect from today's session.
Good morning, everyone. My name is Franca. My expectations are simple. To be able to have risk management while training. Sorry? Okay. I said my name is Franca. Good morning, everyone. My expectations are simple. Risk management while training. While trading. That's what I'm here to learn. And I expect to be perfect in it when I'm done learning.
Okay, so she says risk management while trading. She's hoping that she'll be able to perfect a little bit more of that in the course of today and tomorrow. Please, a round of applause for her as well. I think she deserves it.
I don't think we've gotten anyone from the center, have we?
One person, but
One
we have a
person?
bit more, yes.
Oh, now I have someone else raising his hands. He wants to speak. I was hoping to talk to a lady, but I think you can do that. Good morning. What's your name and what's your expectation?
Good morning. My name is Samuel Damla. Yeah, I am happy being here because it's like I've fallen into alignment. I've been a trade and investor for 5 years, and I've been looking for how to upscale this to a global level. I'm a Christ Embassy member, and I'm on SPMAS platform. I have a liquidity pool. So when I saw this, I know that this is going to be an information for me to actually shoot to the stars and let people know that, yeah, our church, our center is a global economy for everybody to prosper.
Wow, please put your hands together for him. Thank you so much for that. That was beautiful.
I like it. So what I want, success for me, and I'm sure for the organizers, is that in a few years, people are going to be on a stage somewhere, maybe on an international platform, and they're going to say that the inspiration for the business that eventually led them to this stage was gotten from LTIF. They're going to say that the inspiration that they used to scale up their business to the current state that they are was gotten from LTIF. Can we say an amen to that?
Amen.
All right. So let's speak to one more person here. Good morning.
Good morning. My name is Vivian, and my expectations, like she said, are very simple. To learn something new for the businesses I manage. And then if there's something to unlearn, in the course of that, unlearn that and relearn what I have to learn to make the business better, to move it faster, and for better exposure and optimization. Thank you so much.
There's a round of applause for her as well.
I finally got my lady. Please could you stand up, please? Introduce yourself and what your expectations are.
Good morning, everyone. My name is Idam Catherine, and I'm here representing Scott's Legal. And I came to learn. I and my partner, we came to listen, to learn, and also to network and know if people are aware of the legal aspects of their businesses, investments, contracts, things that have to do with businesses and the legal aspect of it. So I'm basically here to learn and also with a listening ear to listen to the problems people have and probably provide solutions for it. Thank you very much.
Okay, please a round of applause for her as well. Yeah. So I'm going to take one more person and then we're going to ask, just a quick question. I want to hear the ideas that we have over here. Stephanie, if you can pass the mic to our good friend over there. He wants to say something. We're going to ask just a random question for, by show of hands, anybody who would like to take the response, which is
Okay, I've got someone here.
Yes. Do the skills and the talents and the brilliance that is needed to scale up your business and scale up business on the continent, do they exist here on the continent, or do we need international support? Just a random question. Does the continent need international support, or within ourselves here on the continent, will we be able to scale up our business with the ideas that we have? Just a random question. Anybody who would like to take it, let's hear from you.
I've got someone here. Please, your name and your answer to the question.
No, I think he wants to speak on his expectations.
Yes.
All right.
Hello, everyone. I am Michael Abraham. I am the CEO and co-founder of Globek Limited. So basically, I came here with a very open mind because when I saw the ad, I've been looking for a forum where there are entrepreneurs and founders, and not just entrepreneurs and founders, but people who are in the same body of Christ. You know, I've been really looking forward to that. So this was a great opportunity for me. And above all, I'm looking forward to meeting new people that would help me with the new tech products my company is working on. It's a tech product, and you know, I would need as much hands as possible that have, again, the same mindset with me. So I feel I'm really, really looking forward to the things I'm going to gain here, and I hope I gain a lot. Thank you very much.
Okay. Please, a round of applause for him.
So 2 things I got from his expectations. He did mention that probably he's attended other forums, but this one is different because it's kingdom-minded, right? And you said something about hoping to meet people. So technically, we're talking about networking. So I want to also use the opportunity to tell you, I don't want you to just come to this forum and go home the same way you left. I want you to connect. There are, oh my God, there are world-shaking CEOs here, innovators and investors right here in this room. So please take ample use of that opportunity. Thank you so much.
Absolutely. And, you know, he introduced himself as CEO and founder, was that?
Yeah.
Okay, great. How many of us here are CEOs and founders? Okay, it's an interesting room. How many of us will leave here and maybe become CEOs and founders in the next year? Okay. It doesn't have to be tech. It could be anything else.
Yes.
There's so much more to cover. So I'm going to give the mic to one person, all right? Just as a random question. Do you think that here on the continent we have what it takes to build economically going forward?
Good morning, all. Thank you very much. Pastor just said it all. We had all it takes to make Nigeria and Africa great. All we have to excel in life is right in us. We don't need an extra hand. We don't even need an external force. As Pastor said, they devalued our currency to rule over us. They know we are hardworking. We have the potential. We go outside this world, they pinpoint to us that we are the one developing their country. Meaning we have all it takes to excel. Thank you.
Thank you very much. Please, let's put our hands together for him as well. And thank you all for engaging us and for indulging us as well. We want to set the template for what we're doing here. And, you know, it's pretty, one of the reasons that we asked the question, what are your expectations? Between today and tomorrow, what do you expect to happen? What changes do you expect to happen in your life or in your business?
All right, ladies and gentlemen, thank you so much. That was very insightful. Now coming up the stage is the head of commerce, Loveworld Incorporated, and the convener of this very auspicious event. Ladies and gentlemen, for her opening address, please put your hands together for the highly esteemed Sister Stephanie Ofoka. Please keep clapping till she makes her way up the stage.
Keep those hands clapping. I think she deserves a louder round of applause. If you didn't hear well, the convener of LTIF 2025, not just anybody, the actual convener. Thank you very much.
Praise the Lord. Praise God. Good morning to everyone here this morning. Can someone work on the sound, please? Yes, okay. So good morning, everyone. I'd like to say good morning to the esteemed pastors, business leaders, visionary entrepreneurs, investors, industry experts, distinguished delegates. It is my profound honor and joy to welcome you today to the Loveworld Trade and Investment Forum 2025. Thank you so much. This is actually a historic convergence of faith, of enterprise. It's an economic transformation across our nation. This is a gathering where leadership meets calling, where economic influence meets spiritual assignment, and where the future of nations is shaped. We gather under the extraordinary grace and prophetic leadership of our man of God, Reverend Dr. Chris Oyakhilome. Pastor, thank you so much for the vision of the Loveworld Trade and Investment Forum, whose vision continues to shape our global influence and steer our economic mandate. This year's forum is divinely anchored in a prophetic trilogy: trust, trade, and transformation. 3 spiritual and strategic pillars defining our next chapter of kingdom-driven economics. Today we begin with trust on day 1, because trust is key. Trust is the very bedrock of every enduring enterprise. Trust is not merely a principle, it's our kingdom currency. It governs our ethics, it fuels our collaborations, and anchors relevance in a world seeking stability and direction. Before we go further, allow me to paint a picture. Imagine right now standing at the top of a quiet hill. You can close your eyes if you want to, just before dawn, so that means it's a bit dark. And the world around you is still, somewhat dark, wrapped in darkness, but yet suddenly at the edge of the horizon, while standing on that hill, a thin line of light begins to rise. That light does not rush. It does not shout. It just simply appears slowly. Steady, but it's certain. It's unstoppable until everything hidden becomes visible and everything uncertain becomes clear. That sunrise is what LTIF represents. LTIF, thank you so much. LTIF is a new dawn. LTIF is a light. LTIF is a voice. LTIF exists to bring light, direction, clarity, and strategy. It exists to bring spirit-led wisdom into the realms of trade, into the realms of commerce and enterprise, and also national development. This year's theme captures the divine sequence of influence that God is releasing into the marketplace. Trust, trade, transformation. You know that trust drives trade. Without trust, markets collapse, partnerships fail, and investors withdraw. Trust is a currency that strengthens nations and unlocks possibilities. When people trust your character, when people can trust your enterprise, your systems, your products, your policies, trade flows. Trust is the foundation of all meaningful economic activity, and trade drives transformation. When trade increases, prosperity increases. When value is exchanged, industries expand. When businesses grow, nations rise. Trade is a very engine of development. It transforms individuals, families, institutions, and entire economies. Trade leads to transformation, and this is not just our theme. It is heaven's blueprint for economic revival. We are not gathered here just, as another business conference. No. LTIF is a strategic intervention raised by the Spirit of God for such a time as this. LTIF exists to rebuild trust in systems, institutions, and leadership, and the church as a force of global excellence. Trust is the seed from which trade grows. LTIF also exists to enable authentic trade that is ethical, innovative, kingdom-driven, and value-based. This forum creates an environment where ideas can flow freely, partnerships emerge organically, and businesses gain the capital, the structure, the support that they need to scale. LTIF exists to activate transformation of mindsets, industries, and national economies, transformation of how we see wealth, purpose, and global influence. God is raising economic leaders, economic apostles, builders of systems, shapers of industries, and leaders that are anointed for national development. This forum positions you as a market leader, not in the shadows, but not in silence, but boldly with excellence, integrity, innovation, and supernatural wisdom. This room, I dare say, is filled with the very cities on a hill that cannot be hid. Thank you so much. Jesus spoke of individuals whose lights are meant to illuminate industries, policies, communities, and the future of nations. Throughout this forum, you'll hear from investors, You hear from innovators. You hear from policy shapers. You hear from entrepreneurs who are writing Africa's economic story. Beyond knowledge, you'll encounter clarity about your assignment, your influence, and the future God is unfolding for you. As we begin this transformative experience, I encourage you to open your spirits and expand your vision. Lean in, connect boldly, receive deeply, and allow God to enlarge your capacity for leadership and for impact. On behalf of the Department of Commerce, of the great Loveworld Nation, and our partners, Paralex Bank and Tango, I welcome you to LTIF 2025. Welcome to a gathering designed by the Spirit. Welcome to a new dawn of trust, trade, and transformation. God bless you.
Please keep those hands clapping.
Engage the crowd. Engage the crowd.
Was that powerful or not, ladies and gentlemen? I didn't hear that. Was that powerful or not, ladies and gentlemen? Please, let's give a louder round of applause for that speech. There's some of the things that she said. I'm going to ask for those who were paying attention. She said to the theme that this is not the theme. It is heaven's. What's the word next? Can anybody answer me? This is not just our theme. It is heaven's. Just guess. Say a word. You might be right. Say that again. Don't whisper now. I want to get 3 different people. Just try. She would verify if you got it right. This is not our theme. It is heaven's. Let me move closer so I can hear you.
You now.
So I can hear you. The word starts with B, by the way. Say that again. Blueprint. That's the word. Please, a round of applause for him. He was paying attention. And yes, she also mentioned that you are the cities on the hill that cannot be hidden. That was entirely powerful, and it set the tone for what to expect between today and tomorrow. But ladies and gentlemen, let's have you pay close attention to our screens. I'll be back.
In every economy, in every nation, one invisible force governs everything: trust.
When trust is broken, economies fail. When trust is corrupted, destinies are manipulated. And today, the world's systems have mastered the art of deception.
They use food, health, and basic human needs to control people, trading life for profit, destroying destinies in the name of money.
But the man of God, Reverend Dr. Chris Oyakhilome, has exposed these systems, revealing the corruption and manipulation behind global trade, finance, and human economics. He taught us that the world's economy is built on fear, scarcity, and manipulation.
There's a definite plan to reduce the world population by 1/3. That's billions of people expected to die. So there is a definite plan. And I've asked again and again, how can those who have a definite plan to reduce world population produce a vaccine to save your life? I showed you what they are practicing is called pseudoscience. It's not real science, it's fake science. They afflicted the men with stroke and infertility, and afflicted the women with infertility and fibroids. And many of those things developed into cancer, helped by the terrible GMO foods. And now they are advertising that they have lab-made beef, no real chicken, no real cattle, all right? They are forming the meat by themselves, creating the beef in the lab with cells. Don't agree to replace your own seeds, your organic seeds, with the GMO seeds, because they're going to bring you into bondage where you will depend on them for your food. And the day they don't like what you're saying, they will not sell to you because you have to buy seeds from them. If you use their seeds, You can't regrow what you want. You can't. They program into those seeds. How many times it can be regrown, if at all? If at all. You don't want that. You don't want that. Because forever, you will not have free food from your own soil anymore. And that's why they're also buying up the lands to stop you from farming. Without the farms, you don't have real food.
The Loveworld Trade and Investment Forum, LTIF, is God's answer. In Loveworld, we live by a higher economy. We do not bow to global.
Thank you very much for that as well. Are we having fun? Are we happy? So we're going to do that thing that we did again with the theme. I'm sure that you remember. Now, I'm not going to say the theme this time. I'm hoping that you remember what the 3 words are. All right. So when I say LTIF, this side says the first word, the middle says the second word, and this side says the third word. All right. LTIF 2025. Let's make it louder. LTIF 2025. Please put your hands together for yourselves.
Thank you so much. That was very beautiful. Please, we have a vehicle obstructing the stage. A white vehicle, T-Venza, with the plate number 0711. A white vehicle, T-Venza 0711. If you're the owner of the vehicle, please help us to move it. It's obstructing the stage. Thank you so much.
Thank you very much. And now for very, very powerful keynote address. The people that we've invited here are people that know what they're talking about. They're people that have built businesses, that have shared business ideas, that have shaped businesses in their own capacity. And so for a keynote address, ladies and gentlemen, let us please make welcome with a resounding round of applause.
Please engage them, please engage. They said
before
that my mic is not working.
Before that, please, I apologize, please. Forgive me. We're going to take just a minute. Before that person comes on stage, you remember that I said earlier that we are going to live here differently. And I truly want that to be the reality for everybody who comes here today. Can we verify that we have taken a picture and we've posted a picture for LTIF? Can we all verify by show of hands? If you've taken a picture and posted a picture with the hashtag LTIF 2025, please wave. No, this is not the energy we're moving with. Let's do that once again, all right? So once again, take a picture or even make a quick video with anybody who's sitting next to you, all right? Post it anywhere, use the hashtag LTIF 2025. What we're going to do is when I go back to sit down, I'm going to click on that hashtag on Twitter and on Instagram, and I'm going to identify the people who are here who have posted, all right? And you might get a gift from me. Or not.
Saragay, I want to take some selfies here. These are my people.
Okay, so take some selfies over there. Remember, LTIF 2025, use that hashtag. We're going to click on that hashtag and look for people who are here. Maybe one person would get a gift from me or from the organizers, all right? We want to ensure that every single person here posts something. Put it on your WhatsApp stories. Put it on your Instagram, put it on your Twitter, anywhere. Make a short video, all right, of you and your neighbor saying LTIF 2025 or welcome to LTIF 2025. Let's keep the social media buzzing with what is going on here. That's exactly how it's to be done. Okay, now, like I was saying earlier, some of the people who are here are people who have truly, truly mastered the craft of what they, are involved with. And so we'd like to make welcome for a keynote address. I would like that we all please give a resounding round of applause to the highly esteemed, ladies and gentlemen, Pastor Dr. Deola Phillips, Chairman, Board of Directors, Paralex Bank. Please a round of applause for her as she makes her way to stage. Keep those hands clapping. Let us celebrate her. Let us lift her up and celebrate her. Like I said, nobody is here by mistake. She truly, truly, truly is deserving of it. Thank you very much, ladies and gentlemen.
To sacrifice
Good afternoon. It's just a little bit afternoon today, and I'm very, very delighted to be here. I would want to, first of all, express appreciation to our man of God, the President of the Loveworld Nation, Reverend Dr. Chris Oyakhilome, DSC, DSC-DD. I thank our man of God very specially for his leadership in the body of Christ and in the nations of the world, defining our times through prophecy and also through strategic leadership. I thank him for the kingdom agenda that we're setting forth today that has already taken root and will now expand to include many more of you who are here in this room. Thank you so much, Pastor Sir. I also want to specially thank the head of Department of Commerce of Loveworld, Ms. Stephanie Ofoka. I thank you for your work. Thank you for the beautiful speech that you shared a moment ago. And thank you for putting together this timely forum where we will discuss and expand on our kingdom economy agenda. My topic today is purposeful capital. And this is such an important topic. In this room we have both investors, managers of capital, and we have business people who will be entrusted with such. And it's very important that each party understands our role. Now, before I go into it, I want to just say that all capital has a viewpoint. And it is that viewpoint that we want to work on today, to tweak, so that it aligns with the highest purposes of God. Capital has a viewpoint, and if in this room we can change your viewpoint a little bit and get you to think of capital differently from how you may have thought of it before, it would have been a few minutes well spent. I'm excited to be the first speaker at the maiden edition of the Loveworld Trade and Investment Forum. And this forum is both strategic and timely as global economic systems undergo realignment, and we observe areas that require capital injection. We must make changes. Now, we understand that there is a global capital deficit. We understand that there is an annual infrastructure, for example, of 2.3 trillion. There's a gap, rather, of $2.3 trillion in emerging markets. In other words, that is what is required, that is not available. We also understand that 70% of global capital is concentrated in just 10% of the countries of the world, and that around the world we have just about 3.8 billion people without access to transformative investment. Now, it's important we look at that because there are those that want to invest, they have the capital, but the purpose of their investment is what leaves much to be desired. And that's why the focus of this investment forum is trust, trade, and transformation. In other words, we want capital we can trust, and we want people that we can trust with that capital. When those two come together, there will be trade and there will be transformation. The old equation says that capital leads to profit as its primary objective. And this creates a purpose deficit. It's not just to have the capital, it is to have the capital with the right purpose. We want to move away from the days of volatile and fleeing capital that comes in just to take for a short time, not to build, but to take. We want to move away from wealth without equity, where those who have the wealth invest in those who are in dire need of it, but leave them the same or even worse off than the way they met them. We want to do away with this global trust deficit. Broken promises erode confidence in markets. In our part of the world, we call this area the emerging markets. Certain things happen and make investors wary of putting in their funds here. So there is a transformation imperative Can move to the next slide, please. We want to see strategic, targeted investment in critical infrastructure, not just in moving products around, but infrastructure that builds wealth within the system, builds structures that can continue to evolve and produce wealth. We want to transform to sustainable long-term value for generations. And we also want to see national level transformation. So we're looking at purposeful capital, capital that is not fleeing, is here to stay, is here to build, and is here to share wealth. And that's what this Trade and Investment Forum is all about. We are bringing together those who have trusted capital and instincts for investment, and those who have the character to make good with what is given to them and produce results. Purposeful capital, we can say, refers to money and investment intentionally deployed to create both financial returns and meaningful positive transformation in society. It's not a one-way street. Before, we used to have the bottom line of profit. We'll say profit, people, and the planet. That's the old school. But today, we say profit, the new triple bottom line of trade is profit, people, and prophetic impact. And that's something new. That's something new. That is something new because we are in a time that is defined by prophecies. Things are not happening in the world just by chance. And God has put his prophets to speak. I'll take you back to the nation of Egypt for you to know that God does have a voice in the economy of nations. I'll take you back to the nation of Egypt. Remember the story of Pharaoh. Pharaoh had a dream, and he dreamt that there will be 7 years of prosperity. Well, he didn't know that that was what the dream implied. He had a dream, and Joseph, who was raised by God for that time, was able to interpret Pharaoh's dream to him. He had the same dream twice. The first time he saw 7 fat cows, and they were swallowed up by 7 lean cows. The next time he saw 7 bountiful ears of wheat that were swallowed up by 7 haggard and lean ears of wheat, and it troubled Pharaoh. But when Joseph came to interpret the dream, he told Pharaoh, he said, this is what God has determined to do. God is not passive. He does, by prophecy, direct the affairs of nations. And he sent Joseph not just to interpret Pharaoh's dream, but to tell them what to do. Joseph showed them what to do. And that's why the voice of our man of God in this time is so important, because prophecy is critical in defining the times in which we live. So when we look at our 3 pillars in the new dispensation, purposeful capital, we look at profit. I would like that slide to be up. Thank you very much. We want to see sustainable growth. Capital that comes in to take and leaves the business or the society worse off is not what is desired at this time. So we want to see profit, sustainable growth. We want to see market leadership with our businesses and those represented here attaining top-tier positioning within their sectors. We also want to strengthen risk management frameworks to protect investor capital. Some things that may not work so well, when we come together in a forum like this, we're able to develop such frameworks that protect the investors' capital and strengthen their confidence in our markets. The second pillar is people. All good investment, all purposeful capital will develop the people. Job creation. Think about every new product leads to job creation, not just for the entrepreneur involved, but there's a whole chain that begins to flourish because of that business starting up in that sector. Skills are developed. We don't want to have the skills, all the skills coming in from outside, leaving the people the same. Neither do we want to see skills leaving our country, for example, because we are doing this in the context of our nation, Nigeria, at the first instance. So we don't want to see skills leaving the country. We want the country to be a place where skills will be nurtured and attain their potentials. We also want to see community investment, direct reinvestment in local infrastructure. There's several businesses represented here, and one of the things that most business people will tell you is infrastructure deficit in terms of power. Power is a major one. In terms of transportation and logistics. So we want to have such investment that will boost these critical infrastructures in our society. And then the third one, which is so important, is prophetic impact. Prophetic impact. In line with God's agenda, we are in a timely position to reframe the narrative. It's amazing what is happening here today. And I would say that with everything we do in the Loveworld Nation, it may start as a seed, but it will grow to become a mighty tree and fill not just this country, but the whole world. In case you don't even know, Nigeria contributes quite a significant percentage to the global economy, and that's why they all want to come here. And our ministry, for example, contributes so much. Think about when we have a program like the Healing Streams, and here the man of God calls for a program, but because of this program, venues are going to be rented in the United States. That's economic impact. Projectors will be rented in Nepal. Water will be distributed in India. Just because the man of God called for a program, it affects the economy of the world. Somebody's going to wake up the next morning having made some profit because there was a Healing Streams. The printers, the global economy is directly impacted by our activities as a Loveworld Nation. And so there is so much potential that we can harness and direct. In fact, we have not just the responsibility, but the right to dictate how things go in the world. So prophetic impact will talk about institutional reform. Because of our economic activities, we can bring about transformation in governmental institutions, economic institutions, to align them with kingdom values. We can also develop sustainable systems for future generations and effect a cultural transformation towards integrity and excellence. We just finished the Global International Pastors and Partners Conference, and there our man of God introduced us into the best in the world doctrine. And this is critical because with that as our mindset, we move into this Trade and Investment Forum with the understanding that we are positioned, we are trained, we are raised to deliver the best in the world because we are the best in the world. So the framework for success is purposeful capital creates transformation through profit, sustainable return on investment, long-term value creation, and market competitiveness. People impact, quality job creation, skills and capacity building. A lot of times when I pray for our country, Nigeria, I often would pray that our young people will not have to leave this country to find expression to their potentials, to find expression to their creativity, that this will be a place where all that God has put in them will be able to thrive without then having to leave the country to be excellent. It's an important prayer, and I think we can also pray that prayer. And then, like I said, prophetic legacy, the words of the Spirit coming to pass. These are the last days of this world, and there are certain things that in the books of prophecies have been determined to come to pass. Many of the parables of Jesus talk about the kingdom of God being manifested. And a lot of times, usually most of the time, those manifestations are in the economic sector. He talked about the man who gave talents to his servants to multiply. He talked about the one who received 10 talents, the one that received 5, the one that received 1. Showing that there is a kingdom economy mindset that cannot be divorced from our Christian faith. So we must position ourselves to be profitable, like the good steward that Jesus talked about in the scriptures. We must be profitable, we must be creative, and we must deliver results. Trust is the ultimate currency, and this is so important. And like I said before, this is a two-way thing. Having capital that is trusted and having entrepreneurs that can be trusted. So that's what this forum is about. To bring together those with trusted character, those with trusted purpose, and those with trusted capital. Many have heard horror stories of investors who become like hawks and just want to take and take and take without leaving the entrepreneur or the business in a better position. But the Loveworld Trade and Investment Forum is the answer to that trust deficit. Your integrity and commitment are the non-negotiable collateral of purposeful capital. Recently, I was invested as a fellow of the Chartered Institute of Bankers of Nigeria. Thank you very much. And during the keynote address, one of the speakers talked about a review of how we make investments, particularly as banks. I'm also the chairman of Paralex Bank. Sometimes and I'm saying that because there's a statement that is here, collateral. What is collateral in today's world? Is it a building? Must an entrepreneur come with a building, a land or something to prove that he or she can pay you back or, provide investment? But usually, those smart, creative young people don't have such things. And as an investor, you can lose out because you're looking for something in the past, whereas you should be looking at something in the future as your collateral. Look. What you may be asking for, that young, driven, productive person may not have. So you need to look beyond and look for traits that display trust. The real collateral is trust. Is the person trustworthy? Is the person productive? And I say this because I also am an investor, and we have to change our viewpoint in how we make our investments. It's more important. Imagine one of the examples that was given was an economy that exists today around streaming products, for example. People stream their products on digital platforms. Imagine that person required an investment. What will he give to you? He can only give to you his idea. So what would then be the collateral? The character of a trusted and productive person. So I say to our investors, look beyond the physical. Look at the intangible qualities of trust and productivity, evident productivity. Look to ideas, and ideas that inspire you and you can project to determine where your capital should go. Character, competence, consistency is so important. What are the elements of purposeful capital? Remember, we said that purposeful capital refers to money and investment intentionally deployed to create both financial results and meaningful positive transformation. Elements of purposeful capital is that it is values driven. Remember, capital always has a viewpoint. But we're saying that that viewpoint should shift from profit, people, and planet to profit, people, and prophetic legacy, prophetic impact, bringing God's word to pass in our world today. Purposeful capital is impact-oriented. We looked at the investment thesis, areas that require deployment of purposeful capital, infrastructure, healthcare, education, agriculture, technology, manufacturing. These are all areas that require purposeful capital that will be a partner, a long-term partner. Purposeful capital is transformational and generates profit with impact. In this Loveworld Trade and Investment Forum, you'll find avenues for investment in solid infrastructure that will yield results over the long term and will create shared wealth for both investor and entrepreneur. We want you to commit to purposeful capital in this forum. We want you to commit to investing in the future, not just in things that are the trends of today, but to have the prophetic insight to see what can create wealth for tomorrow. There's more than enough wealth in this world for everyone, but you have to have the vision, the eyes to see where the next big thing is coming from. And I tell you, it is coming from Loveworld. So we say stop trading and start transforming. Deploy your resources with the intentionality of a kingdom builder and the precision of a world-class investor. I'm sure I'm talking to somebody here today. The intentionality of a kingdom builder and the precision of a world-class investor. In this forum, we have information or content both for the investors and for the businesses, and each one will have opportunity to be improved, your viewpoint to be improved, your access to be improved, proper networking, and this will result in kingdom results. So let purposeful capital be the new global standard. The time is now, the vision is clear. Let us build together in line with God's plan and purpose for our times. Thank you very much. Once again, I thank our man of God for this opportunity, and I congratulate the Loveworld Department of Commerce for this exciting forum, and I look forward to being a part of the deliberations over the next few days. Thank you very much. God bless you. Thank you.
Wow, thank you so much. Ladies and gentlemen, that was the highly
It's great to have you here on this epoch-making occasion. My name is Henry Williams, and we look to explore something that will be of benefit to us in finance and in industry. Looking at, as we all know, we have come to be acquainted with the Parallax Bank phenomenon, how it moved from a finance bank to a fully commercial bank. And I think that's remarkable, being the first of its kind. We're still waiting for those to follow, but it seems Parallax Bank enjoys that exclusive privilege, and it doesn't look like they'll be knocked off their perch anytime soon. So let's give them a round of applause. We look to see how that will be, what Parallax Bank has gained over the years in terms of experience in innovation, in using tech to foster growth, how it will be beneficial to us, and how this can help bring about a blueprint for African banks to innovate, scale, and drive economic empowerment, and how entrepreneurs as well can benefit from a symbiotic relationship. So I have the rare privilege of welcoming, she joins me here on the panel, Mrs. Tina Kumbo, Head Banking, Parallax Bank. It's great to have you.
Thank you.
All right, let's get to business. Now, looking at Parallax Bank and how it has undergone a remarkable transformation journey, I'd like to know what inspired, the shift from a microfinance bank to a fully commercial bank, becoming fully commercial, and what, principles guided its transition.
Thank you. Good afternoon, everyone. I would like to say a very big thank you to our dear man of God, the president of the Loveworld Nation. I want to thank Pastor for this very great opportunity to be on set today. I also want to thank the conveners of the Loveworld Investment and Trade Mission. And I also want to thank my esteemed chairman, the chairman of Parallax Bank, who's here with us today. Thank you. Parallax Bank has remained a phenomenon in the financial sector. And like you earlier said, we transitioned from being a microfinance bank into a commercial bank. Until date, we are the only financial institution that has done such transitioning in Nigeria. Now, thank you. What inspired such a transition, one will ask, because indeed it is quite audacious for a microfinance bank to do that. So for Parallax Bank, while they were still a microfinance bank, they did exceptionally well. And it could be seen in the time they got their license as a microfinance bank, when they became a national microfinance bank. And in the space of about 15 months, from being a state microfinance bank, they became a national microfinance bank. So that clearly states that in that sector, Parallax Bank had done what no any other microfinance bank had done, and they were able to take it a step further to seek for a commercial banking license. Now, for them to be able to do that, it means that they've been able to serve that sector of the economy, which they usually call the mass markets. That's the small, medium enterprises. So they've been able to serve in that category of the market. And knowing that having a microfinance bank license would restrict you to a particular sector, they decided to take it a step further to seek for the commercial banking license, which they graciously got. And since then, the story has been from grace to grace. Now, as against experts' predictions on the profitability of Parallax Bank, which stated that the bank, as a commercial bank, is expected to be profitable in 5 years, I want to say that Parallax Bank became profitable in less than 3 years. And we've been profitable ever since.
That's quite interesting. Since Parallax Bank continues to break all the records, and we certainly hope that continues, well, one thing that has been very pivotal in their success has been digital innovation. It has become the central theme in modern banking. And we'd like to know, what technologies or digital strategies were instrumental in shaping your customer experience and helping you thrive in operational excellence.
Thank you. So as a financial institution, we understood that catering financial inclusion is one of the mainstay of banking today. Now, with financial inclusion, what that means is we're trying to get everyone into the banking into the bank, so to speak. So we're trying to get the market woman at the marketplace. We're trying to get the farmer in his farm, some remote area. But one thing we also need to understand is that in this part of the world, in Africa, in Nigeria, we realize that every individual has a mobile phone, whether it's a smart one or a stone one, but every individual has a mobile phone. So based on that, we were able to, as an institution, invest greatly in technological capabilities to ensure that as long as you have a mobile device, you can actually be served by the bank. Now, we were able to do that by investing in a very robust mobile banking app, which has over 200 capabilities, as in you can do over 200 different types of transactions from our mobile app presently. We also have our USSD app, which is, thank you. We also have the USSD app, which is for phones that are not internet enabled. However, it can run on the digital platform, so if on the GSM platform. So if you have a phone and you have a phone number, you can actually use our USSD to onboard. When I say onboard, meaning you can open an account in the matter of minutes. You have an account number and you already have a relationship with the bank. Now, we also, based on our quest to ensure that we securely deploy digital assets to our customers, we also ensure that our customers are able to access even loan products from the app. And in the just concluded IPPC, we were able to launch one of those products, which is our classic business loan, which is an uncollateralized loan. Our esteemed chairman said something just now about the collateral. And we know that in some categories, people are not able to provide collateral just yet. So as a bank, we created a product called the Classic Business Loan, where you can access as high as 10 million naira without a collateral. What we want to see, like our esteemed chairman said, we want to see the business, we want to see trust, we want to see that you have a business that is running, we want to help you scale. And with that, we're able to deploy that particular product on our mobile app. So for technology, we are, thank you, we are really determined to ensure that we provide secure digital access to your accounts, secure digital access to financial services with Paralex Bank. And I can say that over the years and in the years to come, we'll continue to do that. Thank you.
Thank you very much. I also want to thank the chairman of Paralex Bank, the highly esteemed Pastor Dr. Dela Phillips, for bringing to the fore the issue of trust and collateral in these climes, because there have been discussions about banking, Christian banking, as opposed to Muslim banking. We have Muslim banking that has been around for quite a while, and people have talked about in Muslim banking that you don't need collateral to borrow. It's more like partnership banking. So I want to commend Paralex Bank for going that route, because it does give us some sort of leverage, and it does make Paralex Bank more attractive, and it looks more like kingdom banking. So congratulations on that.
Thank you.
I also want to note that this is an interactive session. We'll be making room for your comments and contributions. So please, I'd like you to make those questions ready. So by the time we're done, we can take one or two questions from the audience here who might have a question or two for our guest. I was talking about Paralex. You've positioned yourself as a people-first institution, and that's remarkable. Now, how is the bank empowering SMEs? And these SMEs are the lifeblood of the economy, and sadly it seems that they have not been given the priority of place in Nigeria for a very long time. Do you want to share with us?
Thank you. Okay, so as a financial institution, Paralex Bank has been empowering MSME space through human capital upgrade. So what we do in this sort of upgrade is we identify communities and we go train them on financial literacy. We go train them on making their business bankable, because one of the things we also found out in the economy is the fact that a lot of people have businesses, but their businesses are not bankable. So you find a situation where when they come to the bank and they're asking for minimal documentations, they're unable to provide it. So what we do in these trainings is that we teach you how to make your little business bankable. There are minimal documents that you need to put in place that does not cost you anything, but makes you just ready for the future. So we do those trainings with them. We teach them how, for the people in the very remote areas, we teach you how to access our apps. We teach you how to use the USSD to do your transfers. We also went ahead to do something we call the Paralex Touch Point. This is where we have an agent in very remote areas that will help people that are not so literate to access banking services, because it's one thing to actually have the phone, it's another thing to be able to navigate the phone. So we have the Parallax touch point in some designated areas in the country where you can actually go to get that done, you know. So we also we've been going around the ministry. We've been to some zones to take them on financial literacy, on how to scale up their businesses, on how to make their businesses bankable, and also make available to them the propositions that we have. Because we realized that a lot of times people shy away from coming to the bank. But we find that the Asians, the Lebanese, the Chinese, they don't shy away. When they come and you tell them, this is what I require you to bring, they go back to their drawing board, they prepare themselves, and they come back to you, and they're able to access it. So when we did those trainings, it's called the Parallax Breakfast Roadshow. We did it in Lagos, Ibadan, Port Harcourt, and we're going to be going to Abuja, and like just to let people know that this is doable. You know, it's actually just being literate about it, understanding how it works, and you'll be able to get bank to support you. You know, we understand that the small businesses don't have collateral to provide, and that is why we came up with
rural areas, for instance.
They don't have collateral to provide, but we know that they also have cash flow. And this cash flow, sometimes they keep it under their bags, they put it under their beds, you know. Meanwhile, this cash flow can actually flow through their accounts, and they're able to create turnover. Now, the classic business loan I spoke about earlier on is based on your turnover. We just want to see that you are doing business. We want to see we have an algorithm that tells you how often this person will normally pay money, how the withdrawals will look like. And based on that, we are giving you that money to go do your business. And we want to say that it's been very successful. And we want to say that people have, the issue of trust is on both sides, on the bank and even with the people. I want to say a good number of the people that have taken those loans have actually they've proven themselves to be trustworthy people. And this is very encouraging to the bank. Thank you.
Fantastic. I'd like to remind us, as a journalist, I hope you do remember the 2023 elections when our leaders were playing some games with changing of the currency, Nigerian currency, when we could hardly get any money, you know, from the ATMs. Parallax Bank played a very crucial role at that time. So let's give them a round of applause. I believe that's when they had a clean sweep of customers, because if you went to any bank, Parallax Bank would definitely have some money to give to, you know, customers, and that was a unique selling point. Now this is the time when we get to hear from you, your thoughts on what we've discussed so far. I'm sure you have some contributions, and I can see a hand up. If we can get a microphone to them quickly to share with us while I ask this question, because you have, you know, somewhat displayed visionary leadership, and one thing about businesses is being able to stay ahead of the curve, as they say, understanding what is ahead. How would you advise entrepreneurs, you know, small businesses, on how to avoid those pitfalls ahead, you know, to ensure that, you know, they avoid the potholes and whatever might ambush them, you know, that you have the experience?
So for entrepreneurs, I would say that, like we all know, the world is a global village, and it is also a global classroom. So there's a lot you can learn just being out there on social media. You know, there are lots of resources that you can access just to know what your business entails. Because one of the things that people fail to realize is you go into a business not because it's making money. You go into a business because it is something you want to do. So even when you do face a challenge in the future, you are able to surmount those challenges because you decided to probably upskill yourself, train yourself, learn more about the business. So what I would say to entrepreneurs is, number one, documentation is key. If you have a registered business, most of the times the businesses we registered, we call them Mr. Hey, Mr. B, come and be a director on this company. That's what we did, and we registered the business. Now, you come to a bank, maybe you've actually grown a bit, you come to a bank, you want to access some sort of financing, and the bank runs a credit check, and it finds out that Mr. A has a bad credit somewhere. It has affected you. There's no way in any climb that a bank would give you a facility with a negative credit report of any of the directors. So it is one of the things that we also need to look out for. So once in a while, run a credit check on your company, because I'm sure most of the time, the people that are directors in these small businesses, so you don't even know where they are anymore, and by the time you come forward to say you want to do something with the bank, you find out that those are creating stumbling blocks for you in accessing what you need to access from the bank. So documentation is key. Credit check is also key. Then also taxation. I know a lot of people don't want to hear about taxing, but it's something that is real and it has come to stay. And if we understand what it is right now, you know that there are ways that you can actually ensure that you are above board in your tax payments. So it's for us to also look at our tax liabilities. And if you are within a particular range of business, mostly the MSMEs, a lot of the times they are not going to be taxed in the new tax law.
Can your bank provide services for your clients in these areas?
Yes, so we have a vendor that we just put on board that is going to take some of our MSMEs on taxation. So trying to help them understand what the new tax laws will entail, how it will affect their businesses. And from what we've studied, we realize that for the small businesses, you really are not the targets, if you ask me. But a lot of them need to know, because it's like creating some sort of fear. Everybody's saying, no, I don't want the banks to know. So you need to, when you understand it, you know that for some small businesses, there's no problem. You don't need to be afraid to run your account, and you are really not the targets.
Okay, please, let's quickly take a question or two from the audience. Can you pass the mic to, I guess the gentlemen are the ones pushing for questions now. Let's take that gentleman standing there.
Thank you for organizing this event. My name is Mr. Adigwe from Ochisoft Solutions Limited. I want to ask the lady for presenting this. Thank you so much for taking the time to walk us through your whole conversation. My question is this. This is like an open proposal because I'm in the health tech space, pretty much. We offer services to hospitals to help improve the quality of life in Nigeria. And usually some of these hospitals, the allocation of support to healthcare providers is not there yet. And we've noticed health tourism has really played a lot of role in terms of our people going outside to receive quality healthcare service, right? And we notice hospitals are not really doing what they should be doing because they don't have enough support, pretty much. So coming from a health tech industry where we provide services to improve the operations for hospitals in the cloud, using cloud service like the AWS and the rest of them, our hospitals are requesting that if there's a way where solutions like your banking services now offer assistance to them, if there's a way where they can get onboarding with your help and our help to collaborate to get them up without the need for looking left and right and where to get a resource to onboard. I just wanted to touch because I noticed that is also one of the areas we're focusing on: healthcare, fintech, education, and the rest of them. So just a quick open proposal.
All right, thank you very much. In fairness, we might take one more before she answers a question. Do we have a lady? Do we have any ladies? Okay, okay, still the men. All right, let's have someone from this side. Okay, you've gotten someone already. Okay, there's a lady. Beautiful.
Hello. Thank you. It was an amazing section. So my question is this. For business that are just starting up and coming up and trying to get their foot on the ground, or even existing business, but they just need money, because sometimes you put an idea, pen and paper, you have this great vision and everything, then you start, and there are some hiccup along the way, obviously, because you didn't know that things like that can occur. Like we don't know everything that happens. So what do you do? For me, my question is this. For those businesses that are just starting up, businesses that are starting up with 3 million, looking for 3 million, 6 million investment fund and things like that, those low amounts. I want to ask if the bank is doing anything for grants to collaborate with these businesses, give them grants, look at them, see what they are doing, they bring feedback, there's a mentor there, mentoring them, this is how you go about it, this is what you do, bring your financial, backlog, whatever it is, bring it to the table, let's see what you're doing now, and how we can, foster you and teach you to get better. So that's my question.
Thank you. So, Tina, you got the questions, right? Okay.
Thank you. Okay, so for the young guy that talked about the health sector, as a bank, we have a product called the asset finance, because one of the things we realize with the health sector is the ability to have the right equipment to discharge healthcare services. So apart from having drugs, we know that the healthcare also require equipment, machines to enable them do the business of healthcare in a very good way. Now, our asset finance helps you to access those equipment. Now, if you also talk about the healthcare and the HMO, we have a collection thing that we do with the healthcare system. So maybe after this session, I can have your number. Someone will call you. We have a product that we just put together. It's actually called the Paralex Healthcare Initiative. Now, what that does is that it is looking for hospitals to pull into a particular bucket, and those hospitals will be enabled. They will be able to discharge services to customers, and they'll be able to access facilities to buy drugs, the consumables. So that speaks to this healthcare being able to get consumables, while the asset finance speaks to healthcare being able to get the right equipment to discharge their services. I hope that answers you a bit. So we can actually speak after this, and I'll introduce you to my colleague that is in charge of that. Thank you.
All right, thank you very much. Distinguished ladies and gentlemen, let's give Paralex Bank a round of applause. LTIF 2025 has started in earnest. Let's join the chariot. Thank you so much for listening. Our time is up right now. My profound gratitude to the president of the Loveworld Incorporated, Reverend Dr. Chris Oyakhilome. Thank you very much, sir. And thank you all for listening. Thank you. Thank you, Tina.
Thank you.
Thank you very much. Please give them a louder round of applause, ladies and gentlemen. Come on. I thought that was a very, very interesting fireside chat. Thank you very much. And for those of us who maybe had a bit of questions to ask further about Paralex Bank, I'm sure that session has enlightened you a little bit further about Paralex Bank. It is a truly phenomenal bank, and it is we're proud, that they have also been or decided to be a part of what we're doing here today. So please, thank you very much once again to Paralex Bank. I've seen a few people post on social media, so maybe before we even introduce the next session, let me quickly call them out and celebrate them. First of all, where's Gracie? Please wave. Gracie posted and tagged me. Please, can we put our hands together for her? She's shy, sitting in the corner there. There's also someone called Digital Flossy and Ionitemi. Please, where are you, please? Okay, they're on the corner there. So what I'm doing is I'm clicking on the hashtag LTIF 2025, and I'm looking for some of the people who have posted. Where's S. Bry Autos? Okay, that's him over there. Round of applause for him as well. So it's pretty easy. I would encourage everyone to do the same thing. We want to tell the world of what's going on here. We've also seen someone called Real Wealth Magnet. Why are you here? Where's he, please? Please wave. Real wealth magnets. You should be teaching us. You should be on stage here, teaching us how to magnet all the wealth in the world. But thank you very much for that as well. Everyone, so please encourage yourselves. Take a picture, make a short video, and use the hashtag LTIF 2025. For our next chat, please remember, questions are very much welcome. And the mic will be passed around at the end so you can also ask questions. Please, let's make welcome to this next fireside chat, which is going to be themed, How to Build Investor Trust in Emerging Markets. Ladies and gentlemen, the managing partner, We Capital. Please put our hands together for Olu Oyison. Please, let's give him a round of applause. Thank you very much. And also the moderator for this next fireside chat, the associate, or he is an associate rather, at Sahara Impact Ventures. The moderator, ladies and gentlemen, Frank Samuel. Please a round of applause for him as well. Thank you very much. I hope that we truly enjoy this conversation. Remember, there's going to be opportunities for you to ask questions, so please write down questions as they occur to you, and you have that opportunity. Thank you once again.
Okay. Good afternoon, everyone. Come on, the energy is low in the room. I know Loveworld Nation is not a nation of low energy. Good afternoon, everyone. Okay, that's more like it. I'm glad to be here, and I want to send my appreciation to the President and leader of the Loveworld Nation, Reverend Dr. Chris Oyakhilome, for this awesome privilege. And I have a very wonderful personality on the panel with me. I've known him for a very long time, even before I got into the venture capital space. And he was in the news a few months back when MoneyPoint recently got their unicorn status. But I'll allow him to introduce himself. Hi, Olu. It's nice to be here with you.
It's a pleasure to be here. Thank you very much for that great introduction. And hi, guys. Hi, Loveworld. I'm happy to be here to share with you today.
Okay. Right. So today's conversation is basically around how we are building investor trust in emerging markets. And it's an important conversation because over the last 4 or 5 years, we've witnessed some form of low confidence hanging around emerging markets, seeing, funding droughts occurring within the ecosystem. 2022, 2023, 2024, was a significant time where we saw, the billions of dollars that was usually flooding into the African tech ecosystem dropping. It's picking up now, but this is why we need to have this conversation around how we can rebuild that level of trust so that we have companies that are backable, companies that are scalable, and of course, companies that can bring in global capital from across the world. And so my first question to Olu would be, what are the biggest misconceptions, right, that global investors usually have on investing in emerging markets? So whether it's Nigeria, whether it's Kenya, whether it's Egypt, whether it's South Africa, or maybe sub-Saharan Africa in general. What are those misconceptions that global investors have, and how can founders, help with ensuring that misconception is dealt with, as we go into the next few years?
Thank you very much for that question. I think it's important I give some background on what we do. So I do run a fund called We Capital. We Capital is a seed stage fund. We manage about a small part of $20 million, and we invest in tech and tech-enabled companies across Africa. And I'll tell you why this is important. We invest across Africa, not just Nigeria. I think our portfolio of 25 companies is across about 9 African countries. And so different African countries have their very different challenges, right? And when you speak emerging markets, you're talking Africa, but you're talking so many other places. You're talking Philippines, you're talking Brazil, you're talking Argentina, you're talking Bangladesh. And it's important to understand that we compete with these guys for the money that's coming from the rest of the world. So you might be the best in Nigeria, but are you better than the guy who's in India? Because the investor who's looking at Nigeria is looking at the guy in India, looking at the guy who's building in Bangladesh. So to answer your question, there are some misconceptions, and there are some things that are not really misconceptions. I'll call them conceptions, right? Because they're true. But as an entrepreneur or as a group of entrepreneurs, we need to be able to walk through these things together. So one of them is that Nigeria is constantly in a state of chaos and war. It's a very a sensitive time in the country at this point because it's more true than it used to be before. When I told people that I was moving back to Lagos to set up a fund, they asked me, like, are you going to be safe? Are there not always guns outside? Are they not always killing people? Those kind of things. And when you have an impression like that from global investors, it's hard. So I think the first thing we usually have to do is the education. And you might not believe it, but the people who have put Africa on the map, some of our entrepreneurs, some of our comedians, some of our artists, some of our pastors, have actually done a lot for foreign direct investments, probably more than some ministers, right? Because information flows very quickly. And so we're doing a good job in marketing the country. The other parts are the fact that the risks are there. Let's not lie about it. I came from a company called Silicon Valley Bank, and where we used to invest across emerging markets. And there's a list called the BSA list. Basically, it's called the Bank Secrecy Act, right? And those are some countries that are termed as highly risky. If you want to do business in that country, a payment is going in or a payment is coming out, you have to do extra KYC checks, extra credit checks, all those kind of things. And, of course, guess who's sitting comfortably on that table? Nigeria, amongst others, right, around the world. But what usually happens is that in the investing landscape, there's a risk and reward paradigm. And investors don't mind risk. They don't mind unstable places. The question is the reward going to be worth it? And let me tell you, there's some investors that once they hear there's war in a place, they're on the plane, they're going there. Because there's some type of opportunities that are going to open up. Once there's chaos in a place, once there's instability in a place, because seismic shifts create opportunities. And so the two things I would say largely is us controlling our narrative, right? Controlling our narrative. When we were growing up, we used to see, if you grew up in Nigeria, you see American movies. And when you see two cops or police officers in a car, there will be one white, there will be one black. You check in an office, there will be like 5 black people, 5 white people. It didn't tell us the state of the racism that there was in America because they owned the narrative. When you live in America for over a decade, you realize that those movies were just movies. It's not very common that you go to any red state and see 2 cops, one is black, one is white. Or you even see any sort of diversity. You might walk around for a whole day and not see more than 2 people that look like you. But they owned the narrative and encouraged people. Everybody wanted the American dream. We need to do the same. We need to control the narrative. We started a good job, but we need to do more. So if you're an entrepreneur, you create content, you speak on channels like YouTube, like Twitch. You have to understand that you're fighting a mental and information war, right? And that's why sometimes I get very angry at some things that happen in Nigeria, right? Because I'm Nigerian and American. And I decide just not to speak because I understand that there are a lot of people who have access to bring capital into the country that are following every single word I say. So I might be angry, I might speak to my friend, but if I go on and I tweet or I say it the way it is, sometimes it might affect more things than we expect. And so controlling the narrative, one, and understanding that investors, global investors, have choices. You need to dress yourself up to be as attractive to balance out the risk that is in your country.
Very interesting response. And still on that line of controlling, the narrative, one narrative that has stood out, especially for a place like Nigeria, is the availability of data that can be trusted. And I think we're getting there. And for a lot of startup and businesses, especially, even within the tech ecosystem, we are seeing more businesses come out to talk about, the numbers that they're doing, the impact they're making, whether it's in the agri-tech space, the farmers, and all of these kind of things, right? So how do you think, startups, founders and entrepreneurs, can help in building transparency so that when global investors are looking at the market, especially somewhere like Nigeria, they can see data to back up, the risk of putting forward their money, into a market like ours?
It's a very interesting question. And I think it's a conversation that we need to have. It started, but we need to do more of it. How many people here have used ChatGPT in the last 1 year? How many people have used Google reviews in the last 1 year? I've read a Google review. Watch. How many people have left a Google review in the last 1 year? You know what this tells you? We love to use information. We don't love to contribute to the pool. Unfortunately, data gets improved by everybody contributing. It's very sweet to go on, I'm guilty too. It's very sweet to go on Google and read reviews. You go, you pick where you want to go, and you're done. When you're leaving, it's too much to even sign in and start leaving your own review, except they made you mad. Then you remember to go and leave a review. What makes LLMs, let's just say AI platforms, so effective is that they take information from all of us, right? If everybody in this room goes and says to ChatGPT or one of the more open sourced ones that Loveworld is the best conference in Africa, if 200,000 people say that to ChatGPT, one day somebody from Argentina is going to say, I'm coming to Africa, what's the best conference? And it's going to suggest that Loveworld is the best conference. The reason why I say this is because to have the data that we all need to use, we need to have the second nature of being open to sharing yours. And this is the big thing about data. I know that sometimes it's cultural. Even if you get a visa to go to America now, until you land on the plane, your neighbor might not know, right? We're quite secretive with things that happen with us. But when you're looking for information on how to get a US visa, you want somebody else to have shared it on YouTube. But you, when it's your turn, it's after maybe you've landed for like 3 weeks. That's when the closest person to you knows that you've gone. And so startups, we're not used to sharing the kind of data that we see everywhere else in the world. And this has to change. We're more open to sharing success data, but you don't build an efficient data machine by sharing only the good sides. right? It's not going to be efficient. How open are we to sharing about failures? How open are we to sharing that your startup is not really growing? How open are you to say, I'm shutting this down because there's no market where I thought there was a market, right? And you see this a lot of times. Maybe there's a founder who lives an exaggerated lifestyle, and people start doing the business he or she is doing without figuring out if they're actually making money from it or not. That person might be spending their savings. And this is why the craze of the lending companies starts. We do it a lot. One person starts a lending company, you see 200. One person goes into a school management software. If the guy doesn't look like he's suffering after 6 months, 60 people join him because we're using anecdotal data. And if you ask them, how's business? They say, thank God. Yeah, you thank God, but thank God is not really data. And so we need to be more open about sharing, especially data that is not kumbaya, that is not great. We need to, because it's going to help the next person. And so I know there's some databases, press people call for comments. Our favorite word is no comment. There's an acquisition. It's when I moved back to Africa, I was hearing acquisition, undisclosed amount. Very common. Undisclosed amount. Or you'll be hearing for a 6-figure amount. Who are you trying to impress? If it has failed, it doesn't mean you have failed as a person. But it means you've added to that pool of data that the next time you want to launch something new, you have something to fall back on. And so I think within all of us, we can start breaking down those cultural barriers to sharing information, whether it's on databases or it's publicly available. This is going to really help our ecosystem to get more data, because data is the lifeblood of decision making. Even I, as an investor, I have to spend a lot of money creating primary data. At our fund, we started creating some reports now for free, just to kind of encourage other people and map out some industries and verticals.
Thank you very much for that response. And so every one of us, we are encouraged by this. Next time you check out from a hotel, please leave a review, at the very least. You know, you go to that wonderful restaurant, fine dining and all of that, and you found it on Google, and people give good reviews. You know, leave your own review so that someone else, you know, can bank on that. But still on the light of, you know, building investors' trust, as working in a fund myself, I think something that I've struggled with is the issues that a lot of early stage businesses have around, you know, corporate governance, and especially when they now want to raise funding, right? You know, being compliant with regulations, being tax compliant, maybe having an audit and things like that, right? So how do you think that founders these days, you know, should approach corporate governance and compliance, you know, to build investor trust? Now, it's very important, but sometimes founders don't get it completely until they hear it from us, how important it is. Because I've encountered, you know, quite a number of concerns where I'm trying to find, you know, an audited account statement, and it's not. There are even fake audited account statements today. So it's becoming a problem that could affect investor trust. So how do you think, you know, founders should, you know, start approaching, you know, this matter around corporate governance and regulatory compliance? That's my...
I'm sorry, I have to disappoint you here. I don't think founders need to be the ones to change, unfortunately. I'm from a very different school of thought. Investors are the ones who need to change. And this might be me now giving you a short lecture. Right? The nature of innovation is that it's broken, it's chaotic, it's unplanned, it's rough, it's unpolished. Right?
Yeah.
And when globally we refer to a founder as scrappy, that means they're resourceful, and they're going to get it done whichever way. I think it's a common thing to agree. Oh, you know, founders don't have audited financials. They don't have the licenses. They don't have the regulatory frameworks. And that's a reason for us to, you know, tell them they're almost not ready for funding. There's a big difference between people like us who fund innovation through equity and banks, even though there are amazing banks around, like Parallax. But that is not a bank's role. It's not a bank's role to fund an idea that has such a risky risk profile. Banks work with certainty. So if I was the CEO of a bank and you said this to me, I would be very happy. We need structure. We need you to be able to put your ducks in a row. We fund crazy dreams. And where we sit, our work is to be able to use proxies to form a full picture. How many people have used Airbnb? Not the ones that they just tell you on WhatsApp, come on book. I'm talking about the app, Airbnb. How many people have used Airbnb? Okay, good. So Airbnb is one of the most successful venture capital deals ever. Imagine 15 years ago, I came to meet you, this Nigerian or Ghanaian investor, and I said to you, oh, I'm about to launch an app that a stranger is going to come into your house, somebody you don't know from anywhere. It's going to come into your house. So now you will take a picture of this room, you put a pillow, you put a towel, and then you put your own house on the internet where there are witches and wizards. And then this person is going to look at it. Oh, I like this room. And then they're going to pay you on the internet. And then some of them will arrive at 10 p.m. and enter some part of your house. And you will be able to sleep with your two eyes closed. And this is this business that I'm thinking about. Most of us who ask for audited financials and regulatory licenses, we will miss out on it. And this is why we need to change how we invest. If you're an investor, you're not a bank. You are there to back dreams. And I can tell you, 99% of all African investors will miss an investment in Uber. I know someone very well who made $200 million from a $25,000 investment in Uber. His name is Jason Calacanis. We all will miss opportunities like that. Imagine you go and tell this guy who hasn't even started, they're still walking around and carrying cameras, and you say, go and bring me 2 years of audited financials. That dream is dead. So what you need to sit down with is, what gives you an impression this is going to work? It will tell you hotels cost 150% of what they should cost. I have a waiting list of 100,000 college students who will use this thing if it goes around. This is the average price we think we can list a room for, $50 or $60, right? And these are the cities where these backpackers move around the most. I'm the one that takes all the pictures today, but I can get the owner of the house to start taking the pictures and give him an interface to upload it, right? So now you as an investor come together and say, does this information line up? Knowing that in 6 months' time, this company might be a rocket ship or it might be dead. This is the role of the investor. And so, unfortunately, I will not agree with you. Entrepreneurs, you just need to pursue. When you grab an idea and you have data, even though some of this is anecdotal, to run with it. problem is you need to find the right investor. And don't go to a big institution who will ask you for these things when you're very small. Go to your uncle, your former boss, your friends and family to fund it. Then you now have more information. Then you might have financials, even if it's not audited. I still invest without audited financials.
Well.
And so you move from there. But remember, you don't need all these things. You need the right investor.
True. Very true. And a lot of time, I know a lot of founders are clapping now, and you're shining your teeth. It's great. I know you are happy that they've backed you, right? it's great. It's good, right? But you must also remember that there's a certain level of skill you can't hit, until you have what you need, or what you should have, right? To grow. Case and study, you've gotten maybe equity from We Capital today, right? We Capital at a certain level will not give you some kind of financing for you to scale maybe into 5-7 countries because they are seed fund, pre-seed,
for sure.
seed, right? And you might approach like a Parallax, and you've been running on just the dream. I hope the dream will finance it at that point. But anyway, it's great that these conversations are happening so that you also have an idea of how to approach, fundraising, which is, I know someone asked a question earlier, around having like a 3 million, 6 million idea. So you know who to approach, and how to have that conversation. My next point is around, so in Africa today, innovation is miles ahead of regulation. And we are constantly convening breakout rooms. We are constantly having policy breakfast sessions, with ministries, heads of government to see how, regulation can catch up with innovation, right? And we are getting there. Very similar case was how the Nigerian government's IDIC fund, got involved in the ventures platforms, fundraise recently, which gives, some form of, hope that at least Nigeria is trying to catch up, right? So if there's any member of government here or, heads of ministries or people who work in the civil service, right? What would your thoughts be to them around how, regulation can begin to maybe match up innovation, or how we can create more sandboxes, to allow innovation thrive, even when the policies are not, written black and white in paper?
Yeah, I think the government's role is very important, especially in developing countries. My take has always been that government being a participant, right? Things like IDICE are great, but it might not be what's really going to unlock the scale. What government needs to do usually is foster trust, increase, for example, our risk rating as a country, try to stabilize the currency, try to create things like certificates of capital importation, and then stay out of the way. Right? When you do these things, Nigerians are very resourceful people. I go to some weird countries and I find another Nigerian hustling. And I'm like, what are you doing here? They say, me, the same investors you came to meet, I came to meet them here. But the thing is, if we have that backing of creating regulatory frameworks that foster investor trust, it would do 80% of the work. It would do 80% of the work. For example, as I was on my way here, I did get a call from someone in, I think, the Ministry of Employment or Finance in Algeria, saying, oh, we need you next week to come and facilitate some sessions. The government is paying for this, but they're not necessarily investing. So what's going to happen? I'm going to go there, probably, or somebody else from the office is going to go there, and you're going to run into these great companies. And then what's going to happen? You're going to take the money you should have maybe put in Nigeria or in Kenya or in Ghana, and you're going to go and invest it in Algeria. because you've seen a very good startup there. And these are the ways that the government actually plays a role. They're just putting two of you in a room, they're stepping back. They're creating sandboxes, these kind of things. I would say investing directly, it helps. But the major thing is when things go to court, is the judicial process fast? Right? Are there small licenses for smaller businesses for them to grow? Are there sandboxes? Is the exchange rate stable for other investors to come in? These are the things. Is there security, for example? These are the things we need from government, and then step aside and watch the magic happen.
Thank you so much. So put the investor, the startups, the businesses in the room and step out. That's it.
Correct.
Okay, final thoughts from you. You've backed very early stage businesses. You've backed founders that have been phenomenal across different sectors. And even young investors like us, still look up to you. I think my question...
I'm still young, stop.
That's subjective. This is my final question to you is, as an investor, what are the things that enable you to say, okay, this is one founder I can trust with my money beyond the big vision, beyond the dream, beyond the projections in their Excel sheet and all of that? What is it for you that say, okay, this founder I can trust you, to deliver on this?
And when I say this, I'm narrowing down to the founder.
The founder.
Right? The bankers in the house will tell you that there's something called 5 C's of credit. Are there any bankers in the house? 5 C's of credit. Which one is the most important? By the way, she said character. Right? And in these 5 C's of credits, there are things like capacity, cash flow. But the people who put this together said that the character of that person is more important than even their capacity to pay. And it's the same when you're investing. What makes it tricky is when an investor meets a founder that they haven't known for a long time. Sometimes it takes time to establish character, right? When you meet a founder that you haven't known for a long time, how do you establish character? Especially in a country like Nigeria, where people pop up from nowhere and are driving expensive cars and flying private jets on social media, right, in 6 months. How do you establish character? You start to use, one, proxies. And there's a saying that past behavior is the best determinant of future behavior. If you remember when I went back, when I was supporting early stage founders, if you run this business for a long time, you would have prior investors, people who backed you 5 years ago. We would get on the phone with those guys, right? How do you feel about this? Are you going to keep backing this founder? If they have something else to say, even if you don't take a hook, line, and sinker, it's a data point. There are people who have worked with you. We go to the people who you've hired in the past, people who have just left and they're living their lives somewhere. We get them on the phone. Some will be like, I don't like that person, but they're very straightforward and hardworking. Some will say, my style and her style just don't match. Some will say, he's always stealing company money. I was afraid the company was going to collapse. Right? And the truth is, by the time you extrapolate and triangulate these things, you might get a good proxy of this person's character. Or there's some, I'm sure everyone knows a founder that has raised money for a company. 6 months later, it wasn't working. They shut it down. They go sabbatical for 3 months. They come up, they change the name. They go out and raise money again. It tells you about their character. So the question is, what are you going to do when things get hard? Those are proxies of your character. And so even if there's no character score somewhere, there are proxies. What are the things you've done before that would give a sense of what your character is? How would you relate with investors? How would you relate with customers? How would you relate with employees? How would you relate with government? These things are the determinants of your character, and they invariably tell us if this company has a higher chance of success or not.
Thank you so much. Please, once again, let's put our hands together for Solu. I think we've come to the end of this, and I know there might be some questions within the audience, but due to time, you have the opportunity to still meet Olu after this session to ask those questions. And you can reach out to him on LinkedIn. He'll definitely respond to you, or tag him on X. But this conversation was really critical because we are seeing trust build up, and we want to ensure that it grows over the next few years so that as we attract more capital, it wouldn't go down the drain. We can see global investors see this market as one that is fascinating and one that they will always want to come to. And I hope this session, was impactful for someone out there. Thank you so much to the Loveworld Nation for putting this together. My name is Samuel Frank, and it was nice to moderate this. Thank you. God bless you.
Thank you very much. Please, a louder round of applause for both of them. That was a very interesting session as well. And we truly appreciate the wealth of knowledge that has been poured at us in that very, very interesting session. We would have a few more to go, but I just want to quickly mention one of the very important things that we should do today is network. As much as possible, network, network, network. Speak to somebody, tell them about you, tell them about your business, tell them about your ideas, tell them who you are, share, some concepts that you might be working on, all right? Network as much as you can. We would absolutely like that everybody leaves here after interacting with one person or the other. So what I would ask that we do is speak to someone next to you, all right? After the comment session, I'm going to pass the mic around and I'm going to ask you about your neighbor, all right? So indulge me. Speak to somebody next to you. Tell them who you are and also find out who, they are as well, okay? Find out who they are. Tell them about your business. You may not maybe share all your business ideas, so that it doesn't come up next week under a different business name. So share with your neighbor, all right? My name is Osaogi Ogbawa. I am a communications expert and an event host.
My name is Stephanie Nicholas, better known as Voice of Steph. I'm a multiple award-winning professional voiceover artist, TV presenter, and event host. And might I say, you've probably heard my voice. Do you want to know where you've heard my voice from? If you don't give me a response, I'm not going to answer. Do you want to know where you've heard my voice from? Okay, so you know where you call a particular telecoms network?
Stephanie's about to show off, by the way. Well, go ahead.
Where you call a
blow your trumpet.
Telecoms network, and you hear, "Dear customer, please wait while we contact the customer care representative," or, "Dear customer, please wait. The person you're calling is currently unavailable. Thank you for calling."
Show off. Show off. So yes, Stephanie does.
Blow my trumpet,
Stephanie does a ton of all the female voiceovers that you hear across Nigeria. If you're driving in your car and you hear a voice advertising for any brand that you can imagine. I would be surprised if you haven't done for Parallax already. But almost all the brands in Nigeria, most of the female voices are hers. I used to do a lot of male voices, but, I got busy with other things.
You're a very humble person.
Yes,
so
I'm very humble. I don't like to blow my trumpet.
Yeah, I understand.
But this is what I want again. Please speak to someone next to you, all right? Introduce yourself. Tell them who you are. And also, get to hear about them. After the next session, I will be asking a few people to tell me about your neighbor. All right. Okay. But before we bring up the next session, all right, there's a ton of questions from the last session that we just had, the fireside chat. Many people have burning questions. So we're going to take two questions, and two questions, and then we're going to have him also answer those questions. The managing partner, We Capital, Olu Oyinson, he will be answering those questions. So 2 questions, all right? Can we pass the mic around? Can we nod if we're allowed to do that?
Can we go into the audience?
Hello.
Or get a mic into the audience. Okay. All right, so 2 questions. Go ahead.
Yes, thank you so much. Thank you for the opportunity, and I want to thank the panelists.
Please go ahead, please.
All right, all right. I want to thank the panelists for this wonderful time we're having. Now, my question is, I have 2 questions. I don't know if I can just quickly go ahead with them. The first question is about the topic the chairman, our dear pastor, was talking about the purpose of the capital. We have seen in the tech world where money is being invested in companies that doesn't have a pathway to profitability, or it takes a long time to make profit, where the founders, they just raise money for the sake of raising money. So they raise the first series so that they can raise another money for the Series A and another money for the Series B, until there is no pathway to profit. So I wanted to learn from him what he thought about, especially what our dear pastor was talking about, the purpose of the capital, so that the money that just recycled all the time. That is my first question. The second question, quickly, is I want to learn from him what he thinks about investment in, I'm into agriculture. I'm not from here, I'm from Burundi. I just came for the program. And in the agriculture sector now, we have been able to control the environment and make sure that we can produce for the whole year any type of crop. I want to learn from him if in the venture capitalist there is this topic about investing in agriculture, especially for the agriculture tech, using irrigation system, using controlled environment, because I think there is also, we might not be a unicorn next year or 2 years to come, but in the future, I think there is really high profitability. So I want to know if in the venture capital sector, they are talking about this control environment. Thank you so much.
All right, thank you. And thanks for coming all the way from Burundi as well. I really like that. So we want to take a response to his questions, and then we'll have somebody else speak.
Thank you for that question, and thanks for coming all the way from Burundi. To be clear, I think your first question is around why investors invest in companies that look like they have no pure pathway to profitability, and they're raising money to raise money round after round. Correct? So I think there are two. I think there are 2 ways to look at that. There are some founders who raise money for the sake of raising money, right? And it's bad. But there's also something to learn from them. Fundraising is an art on its own, right? So you might be able to build a successful company, but not be good at fundraising. But you need money to run that business. So those guys who are successfully raising round after round from investors, but you know how to build a business, you need to either partner with them or learn the art of fundraising from them. All right? There's an art to it, and it's sales, basically. The second one is, and this is usually not agreed with by traditional financiers, is that you don't have to be profitable to generate or create value. We probably all use WhatsApp in this room, right? And nobody has ever paid for WhatsApp. So WhatsApp has no revenue, no profitability. but it was acquired for over 30 billion by Meta, Facebook's parent company, right? Somebody would have said, this company has no revenue. How are you paying 30 billion for it? The reason is because they have value. Uber was a loss-making company when it went public for 64 billion, right? It was loss-making. So the thing is, you have to make sure that you are creating value. Is this going to be valuable to somebody else? It doesn't have to always be profit and revenue, but 95% of the time it has to be revenue and profit. But there's 5% where you're creating value without those two things. I hope it answers your question.
Hello. All right. Thank you very much. Please, a round of applause for him. We have time for one more person. Please, I would appeal that you keep it as brief as possible. Go straight to your question. Let's speak to our friend here. I think I saw his hand up first. Quickly.
Hello, thank you. My name is Joshua, and I'm a data analyst. And my question goes this way. I don't want to build a company. I just want to solve problems. I want to create a solution, and solution valuable for everyday living. How do I go about this? Because, I mean, everybody is thinking about, okay, being a founder. I don't want to go that route. How do I go about funding if I don't want to build a company around the solution I'm providing? That's my question.
All right, thank you very much, and thank you for keeping it brief as well.
I think there are people like that. And a mistake a lot of people make is that we want to turn everybody who has a solution into a founder or an entrepreneur. And they're very different skills. Some people don't want to manage people, right? So my answer is in two parts. There's an African proverb that says, if you want to go fast, go alone. But if you want to go far, go with others or go together. So the idea of a company doesn't necessarily have to be a registered entity and all the things we structure around it. Company, from the name, company, it means that there's somebody doing it with you. It means there's a team, right? So you might not want to go that route of being the leader of that team, but you might be just part of it. And there are a lot of people like that who just want to be engineers. They want to create products that people solve. So you might just be part of a team. Or go and join a team and keep doing your thing. The other thing is that you can build these products and just sell them. Right? A lot of people do that. You build an exciting product, take it to a company, it works, and sell it to them. And so those are, I think, two options that you can explore in the immediate.
Okay.
All right. Thank you very much. Please, a round of applause for him once again. Very well put.
All right, we're going to watch, I want your eyes on the screen. We're going to take a very important video. But just before that, all Begin SBSOs are please requested to come up to get their decks for the pitching. So if you're part of the Begin SBSOs, please go up the gallery to get your decks for the pitching. Thank you so much.
The Business Expansion and Growth Initiative. Business Expansion and Growth Initiative is a transformative empowerment program designed to scale up small-scale enterprises within Loveworld Nation by connecting them with essential funding, mentorship, capacity-building opportunities, and global market access. The initiative is strategically designed to position these businesses as engines of sustainable economic growth within the Loveworld ecosystem and beyond. Through Begin, selected businesses will gain access to business-friendly loan facilities and grants, strategic partnerships, market expansion opportunities, mentorship, training, and support, branding and visibility through Loveworld channels. Begin represents a bold commitment to kingdom prosperity through economic empowerment. by facilitating access to 50 to 100 billion naira in growth capital and guiding Loveworld businesses toward excellence and expansion. Begin will redefine the future of business within Loveworld Nation.
Stage. Thank you so, so much.
Good afternoon. Good afternoon. Okay. I stand on existing protocol. I thank you for having me here. My warm regards from Advantage Health Africa. Good afternoon, Dr. Adiola. Right, Abimbola Adibaki. I've been asked to talk about a topic I don't typically talk about when I'm speaking to entrepreneurs, because I don't want you to build your business around getting grants. But I have access grants. Multiple grants. I hope you can still hear me. Can you still hear me? I have accessed multiple grants, and I've been charged for the next few minutes to talk to you about things you should focus on when you seek to access a grant. Someone had earlier asked the question, how do you go about getting a grant from Paralex Bank? I'm not quite sure Paralex Bank is the right place to go to seek a grant. I'm sorry, I'm finding it difficult to keep this. Okay. Between my dreads and my glasses and the mic. Forgive me. Paralex Bank might not be the vehicle to get a grant from. They might help to facilitate your capacity. Investors also typically would not provide you grants. They want to invest in your business for a share of the upside. I was with Samuel last week talking about investment in our company. But there are some entities who understand that certain social matters need to be seeded with an amount of money that does not take equity from you, but that supports your effort to address such social ills. Some of those social matters come up in areas like health, access to food, things around shelter, mobility, education. So if you are dealing in any area around there, or an area that has been underserved, maybe it's around gender, or a new area that could be explored further, maybe it's around you embedding AI in your venture, you might then be able to find a grant. So my list is not exhaustive. It's just that grants exist, and I have benefited from them, and I'll just share a bit of my story. Next slide, please. So what do? I run a pharmaceutical business that combines in a unique way health tech and pure play pharmaceutical distribution. So we've gone around many things that ensure people get medicines at the very last mile. So if you like, you could be in a farm in Kaduna State, and you are in the rural, remote areas, we'll bring medicines to you. We've got CEOs who work day and night here in Lagos, but their parents are in Shekpeteri, who take the medication to their mother. They're not quite sure of the quality of what they would access around them, but they know that handing it over to us, we will get the right medication, so we create access, affordability, and quality meds. Now, that triggers some kind of interest in those who give grants to extend and scale what we do. Next slide. And so part of what we do has benefited from grants. I studied pharmacy at the University of Lagos, then went on to be a sales and marketing executive at a pharmaceutical company. But shortly after, I began to see that there were other options, went in as a management consultant at Accenture, and then became a master trainer. So I trained for Chartered Institute of Directors and organizations like that, teaching board directors of banks how to incorporate good corporate governance. But one thing that has shaped my trajectory was when I served as the Chief Operating Officer for the Tony Elumelu Foundation. Is there anyone here who is a recipient of the $5,000 grant that is shared by Tony Elumelu every year to 1,000 entrepreneurs across Africa to help you prove your concept? Anybody here? Okay, good. So that means that is somewhere that you can apply to say, Tony, you seem to believe entrepreneurship is the way for Africa. Not aid, but enterprise. All right, I've got an enterprise that is addressing XYZ. I would like to be seeded with this amount of money. But a beautiful thing that comes with most grants is that side by side a grant is some level of capacity development. So seek grants that also ensure you are trained, you are mentored, and doors are open to you that create access. So that entrepreneurship development, you can see a picture down there where someone that was involved in recycling then got a trike, an electronic bike, that would help them to get more items for recycling and enhance their capacity. So these are various things that are happening in the world of capacity development. Giving grants, seeding you to make sure you can prove your concept, and then combining it with a lot of capacity development. With the Tony Elumelu, for example, there's mentorship, there's a scheduled program that you go through for almost 12 weeks, and I borrowed that model and then developed one for pharmacists. So young pharmacists now have gone through a cohort once a year, and we're now on the 8th cohort, where they go through a deliberate, intentional, intense program to build up their capacity, to be either entrepreneurs or to be better employees in organizations. Next slide. Now, most people ought to start their organizations or their ventures bootstrapping. And what does bootstrapping mean? It means you take up your load, wear it on you, and carry it. That mindset is a mindset from someone who is enabled to think that I have what it takes to move forward. Now, if you go into entrepreneurship with the mindset that I've got to get from others before I move forward, you will hardly make a success of it. It's going to be more difficult for that type of mindset to move forward. What you will then attract will be those who will try to subjugate you or, in one way or the other, exploit you. I had a young lady that met with me 2 weeks ago, and she was talking about her business, and I could see how enterprising she was. And she said, oh, I own 30%. You've just started off and you own 30%. Why? Oh, somebody promised to bring capital and he collected 70%. That's a failure that is in the making. You can see the foundation is already rocky. So I'm urging you, please, be careful the kind of funds you access from the beginning. Now we'll get to grants. So first of all, have the mindset that I am going to bootstrap. I have something in my hands already, and I will use what I have to get what I need. It might be social capital that you have. And what is social capital? It's simply you coming up with the trust and the goodwill that you have built over the years. To be able to speak to someone to say, borrow me your platform to work. And that's what happened to me. 1 or 2 sessions that I had where someone said, oh, come and speak to my own network of pharmacists that need your kind of insight. And I went with my insight, and from there I began to sell consulting services to them. So I bootstrapped by running gigs. Some of you know how to do things on the side. think of that as a source of funding for your main venture that you want to get into. Don't think of yourself as hopeless and helpless simply because you don't have ready cash. Are we together? The second point is that there are people who we term FFFs, and that acronym stands for what? Friends, family. Who knows the last F? Say it loudly now. Now, why are they called fools? It's not because they are inept. It is because this third category of people believe in you. They can see you are growing horns and your skin color is changing to blue. They still believe in you. Are we together? There is this magic or energy, some spark in your eyes that they love, or you connect. The solution you are trying to solve is a solution their grandmother told them about. And then you have come to describe exactly their dreams. This is how Pharaoh believed in who? Joseph. And he said, you seem to have the interpretation. You come and implement. Those fools, in quotes, may turn out to open doors for you. They may turn out to give you strong platforms that then you can use, or they may turn out to invest cash into your business. And cash is not everything. Sometimes they may give you a 1 million user platform for you to use for pilot. Hello? Some of you are running around town looking for users, and a fool will say, a good fool will say, come and sell your product to my own client. I know someone who I was told by a third party sells peanuts in a bag, and he sells, let's say, I can't remember the exact figures. Let's say he sells 10 million packs of those peanuts every week in Nigeria, and he uses the guys that have kiosks in front of our houses, and he distributes, and he's paid cash. And those peanuts, let's say they cost about 100 naira. And so he's created a formidable distribution system. And then he comes to you and you say, oh, I make coconut flakes. My own is coated in milk. And from it, I'm struggling to get through supermarkets. He says, forget about that. Come to my platform. As I'm distributing peanuts, I can distribute your coconut flakes. You'll be trying to catch up with demand. You will be there day and night, day and night, day and night, because he has created for you a formidable distribution channel. So sometimes these are the kind of fools you should be looking out for. So you need FFFs. Hopefully you have created a good rapport with your family members. And you're not the type of person that only calls when you need cash. So I did say that some fools then invest in your business, and we term them angel investors. Who are angels? They give you a seed at a stage called the pre-seed or the seed stage of your business. And they may take it at it's high value. You may give them 20%, 10%, 15% of the equity. But they believed in you at a point where they could say, take this amount of money, I will convert it to equity when you are doing well, or it becomes just a debt, and then you pay me back. So a convertible loan. Are we together? This is workshop, so I'm trying to go through it carefully. So a convertible loan might be the entry point for an angel to come into your venture. And when they want to convert to equity, if somebody else was bringing 10 million to get 1%, they may say, oh, I'll convert at 7.5 million for that 1%. Why? Because they were early believers. And we have now an ecosystem that is encouraging more angel investors. So if you can plug yourself into a credible angel investor network, you'll be doing well, because they will keep a tab on you hear about you and sometimes drop the first check or the second check. So what I had were angel investors that then brought their friends, and that was the fundraise that we did in 2019. So they want equity or they want their loan back. Grants are also a credible source of funding. But please be careful with grants that come with terms that you cannot meet. You must look at the grant, read the terms carefully. Don't be too excited that they want to give you money. I'm not quite sure there's free money anywhere. I'm not quite sure. I think almost everything is tied to certain conditions. So when you're accessing a grant, are they going to ask for your mom's liver or your grandmother's hair? So check. Are we together? Check. Some of them may give you a grant and then set up milestones that you cannot achieve. You do what? You negotiate those terms. There are milestones. They want you to have built 2,000 houses with a grant of $25,000. You commit to what you're able to do, because what typically happens is that the first few grants you get, they test your integrity. They test your credibility, and they test how well you can keep your words. So please, under-promise and do what? Over-deliver. Debt finance is also a credible way, and when you're beginning to talk about debt, then you're beginning to talk to a bank. And the better you can structure your debt payment, moratorium, and all of those things, the better. I'm extremely happy that Powerlex Bank has a non-collateral funding that it can use to support you. But what they're looking for, I'm sure, is your ability to repay, to get the principal back, and you can give somebody else. Next slide. So these are some grants that I have accessed. They're not all grants, but some of them position you into an ecosystem where you can then access grants. So like I said, I'm in pharmaceuticals. So there's an organization that would seed you with 50,000 euros, and when you do well with that, you can then apply for more. So we did well with the first, then applied for more, and then they thought, all right, we can give some 100, some 150, and so on, and we got the follow-on finance. Why I'm saying this is because there are different types of grants out there. This one came by Bayer Foundation, that came with half was money, 25,000 euros, the other half was training, which they paid for. And why did I know that it was paid for? When we started the training and I saw the value, I asked that, oh, can all my managers join in this training? So it's not just me, and they agreed. So 12 people were doing the training every week, which was fantastic. And I thought, should all my, because I have 100 staff, 102. So I just said, should all my staff also do this training? And I went to their online platform. I said, one was like 1,500. One was 2,000. I said, okay. We backtracked and just focused on the first. So I knew that that training was worth the value that they put on it. Some, it's not worth it, so they waste your time. So check, and get references. Another one, investing in innovation, wanted to create a network where, can you still hear me? Getting paranoid about this. Another one wanted to create a system where they would seed you some capital, but their desire was to match make us with public sector agents or agencies. And the public sector keeps saying they want to work with the private sector, but there were no avenues for those interactions. So investing in innovation, one of their key or hallmark was to bring us into the room, and we'll do sessions with public sector, and then they'll continue to foster. There's a session we're having this December that I'm still invited to. There are about 21 meetings that have been set up for me with various parties, all to make sure we still keep getting connected. If I'm working in supply chain in pharmaceuticals, the government needs it, but how can we interact? Because left to Abimbola, she's busy doing her work. She doesn't have time for the government. Are we together? So please don't ignore some of these avenues that don't necessarily give you money, but they give you access. Did you hear that? They may not necessarily give you money, like Health Tech Hub. They are based in Rwanda, and they selected a few of us across Africa, and they didn't give cash. They did eventually then introduce a $100,000 thing. We applied for it, we didn't get it. But they increased our connection and our visibility. So some of these things convert to cash as you move on. I hope this is helpful. Now, put in your system whatever way that you can to identify local grant givers, international or African-based grant givers, and those in the global space. Because some of them will be speaking to you. They may be speaking to your area, and then focus on that area. I'm almost done. Next slide. This is important for me to say. I would not do my work if I don't mention, especially the last line. So tune in, don't switch off your channel, don't sleep off. We'll get to that last point. For grants, there's something called the law of averages. The more you apply, the more your chances of getting. You know, I can come out with slides upon slides of those that have won. But I won't normally come up with the ones that have rejected us. Have you seen anybody presenting all the rejections they got before marriage? They just present the woman now and then marry. Please keep trying. With each one, consciously open your eyes and your mind to say, what should I learn from this? For me, we had been applying and then got tired and got busy with our work. Then some young guy that I was mentoring said he wanted to work with us in between his master's and his PhD. He just wanted some work for 6 months. So he came back to the country and started to work with us. And the opportunity for an application came up, and I said, come, take this and handle it. Check with me if you need anything. That was the first one we won. So when he did that first one, I quickly assigned a more permanent staff to shadow him, to learn how he was doing it, and we started applying. But if I tell you the number of rejections we've gotten, you will not believe it. But we have gotten successes as well. So please keep applying, build the skills and the capabilities within your team to apply. I don't think that every entrepreneur is built out for applying for grants. But if you can find it within your team or hire someone to help you with those applications, please do. Some people will tell you a story. Please don't go with them. Let them show you examples that they have worked on. More grant opportunities exist today than 6 years when I was applying. So please, do not count yourself out. What did I say? Don't count yourself out. You've got the same good head, nobody is better than you. And what you are doing is worthwhile. So step forward with confidence and do apply, okay? Do not let anybody belittle you, and don't follow with that, oh, beggars cannot be choosers. Stop it. Stop it. You are not a beggar. You are seeking support for a venture that is worthwhile. And I tell you today, one of those early funders that gave us grants, anytime they want to refer to success in the work that they are doing, they mention my name. Why? Because it is a source of pride to them that they supported me with a grant and some capacity building, and I'm showing good results for it. So be that example from Nigeria that they will continue to mention anywhere They go out of their way to publish me in international newspapers that I have no business in, but they seek to make noise about you. Let them make good noise about Africans doing the right thing. Are we together? Find a niche, whether it's Africa, it's female, it's circular economy, AI, creative economy, education, healthcare, agri, whatever. Find a niche and hone in, and I trust you will find your own grant. Apply for even those without funds. I've said that before. Why am I mentioning this? When we were building together the product called the Tony Melu Entrepreneurship Program, we realized if we didn't put that money, people would not apply. So the money was actually to attract you to capacity building, to attract you to mentorship. Each time we then did a survey at the end and we asked people, what part did you like the most? Trust me, majority talked about the content and the mentorship. But sometimes the money is to attract. So please apply for some without funds, but don't waste your time. There are too many trying to teach you to be entrepreneurs. Sometimes you have to scale. So be careful which ones you do. And in all, Abimbola's last point. Drum roll. I'm doing it so that you pay attention. In all, please spend time building your venture well. Grants are good, but grants do not prove your business. I am tired of the mad of people I meet who are following and pursuing grants. But if you stand their business under scrutiny, there's nothing to show for it. Nothing. It's all like packaging. So in this room, you will not be packagers, will you? You will be true entrepreneurs who are solving problems, who are seeing the two sides of a coin, showing that one side is a problem, the other side is an opportunity, and realizing that if I take my own piece of the mixed up jigsaw puzzle and I do it well, I place it on the table, and 1,000 others do it well and place it, we're going to build the Africa of our dreams. Thank you very much.
Hello?
Thank you very much. Please allow a round of applause for that. I think that was also very, very inspiring, very educative.
Very insightful as well.
Yes, there's so much to pick up from all the information that was just shared. So thank you very much for that. I just want to make a few quick announcements for reparking before we continue. If you are here with a Lexus, a silver Lexus, with the plate number EKBE 366BQ, please, we would need that you please assist us with reparking your vehicle. A red Toyota Corolla APP 841GD would also like that you assist us with reparking your vehicle. It's very, very urgent and very important.
Okay, and I'd like to take this announcement one more time. All Begin SBOs, please go up the gallery to collect your decks for pitching. If you're part of the Begin SBOs, please go up the gallery just behind you to collect your decks for pitching. Thank you.
All right. Like I said earlier, one of the things that I'm hoping that we all do today is network. We would like that we exchange complimentary cards. We tell one person or the other about ourselves. And I had asked earlier that we please introduce ourselves to one person or the other. So I'm going to, give you 1 minute once again. Introduce yourself to the person sitting next to you. Because when I come to you, I'm not going to be asking about yourself. I'm going to be asking you about somebody around you. Tell me about your neighbor. All right. So I want to know what their name is, what they do, what kind of business they're into, anything in that regard. So once again, remember to please network. Some of the things that we're doing here today are going to be helped by the amount of networking that happens here. I also want to I think one of the things that caught my attention, I'm not sure if you've been there, when they say, if you sell an idea or if you build a solution, you would make a lot of money. That you don't have to chase, I don't know how I said, you don't have to chase investors. That you just need to create ideas. And once you create ideas that solve problems for people, you know, eventually. And so I remember that there's been times in my life where I've been thinking to myself, what solution? What's the thing that people need? What ideas can I think of, you know, that are gonna, you know, improve the quality of lives of people? And so I know many people have been there. I'm gonna, you know, go around later on and also ask that question.
We're gonna do that. All right, ladies and gentlemen, we are going to go on a very brief lunch break, and we will be back by 2:30 p.m. So feel free to take selfies, look around, make videos, and like Osaroge said, network, very important. We'll be right back.
Absolutely. When we come back, we're going to be asking you about one person or the other. So please ensure that you network. The food is going to be brought to you at your seat. You don't have to go anywhere. So please be seated. You will be served at your seat, and we will be back, you know, right after lunchtime. But once again, remember to please network. Thank you very much.
Thank you so much.
Ladies and gentlemen.
All right.